but correctly called vulture. I'd like for you all to meet our black vulture, Buzz. Now, Buzz is one of two different types of vulture species found around this area, with the other one being a turkey vulture, which has a bright red head. Now, Buzz is a good example of what we call a human-imprinted bird, or a bird that was taken from its nest at a very early age and hand-raised by humans. So Buzz doesn't exactly know that she's a black vulture. Instead, she thinks she's a person. Now you'll notice as Buzz flies back and forth from glove to glove that she makes a grunting sound every time she leaves the glove. And that's because vultures actually lack a voice box and can only make a series of grunts and hisses. You'll also notice that she doesn't have the most agile of flight. She's much more labored and it's harder for her to get around. So, I guess Mother Nature knew what she was doing when she made her food already dead. Doesn't have to sneak up on it. Now, Buzz here has one of my favorite stories at the American Eagle Foundation. She's actually 30 years old this year. Now, for 28 years, we referred to Buzz as our very handsome, bald-headed man, until she laid an egg. Now this is Buzz's first year flying over the audience, and we think she's doing a fantastic job. What do you all think? Now, we'd like to put away a few myths that you might have heard about birds. So how many of you have heard if you touch a baby bird or a baby bird egg, mother will smell you and abandon the nest or abandon that baby? Right, we've all heard that at some point, but it's actually not true. Most birds do not have a good sense of smell at all. So if you ever do find a baby bird or an egg, just gently pick it up, put it back in that nest, the mother will come back and take care of it. Now our next bird coming out is also a myth-busting bird. So I have a question for everyone. How many of you believe that birds can see in color? Alright, how many of you think they cannot see in color? Alright. Well, this next bird coming out is going to prove to us all that birds actually can see in color. You see that we have colored Easter eggs out along the front of the stage? Well, only under these pink colored eggs is there a tasty bit of food. Now, she is not a turkey vulture, so she doesn't have a good sense of smell because they are the only birds of prey that have a very good sense of smell. She's actually a relative of the falcon family. And I'd like for you all to meet our crested caracara, Miss Bonita.
Too sexy for my love, too sexy.
Now, as I said, she is a member of the falcon family, but she looks nothing like a falcon. She looks like more the spare parts of a chicken, a vulture, and a hawk all rolled up into one. They're found in South Florida, Texas, Arizona, and are the national bird of Mexico. Now, in the wild, Bonita would be looking under rocks, logs, and stumps for her food. She likes to eat insects, grubs, slugs, frogs, snakes, or just about anything else that she can find. They are very opportunistic feeders. Sometimes they'll even follow a turkey vulture to find some roadkill, gourmet for dessert. Now, as you can see, she has flipped over only those pink-colored eggs with her beak, proving in fact that she can see in color. And she is by far the biggest ham in our show, so when she is finally done posing for pictures, she doesn't say goodbye. She says adios and hasta la vista. Let's hear it for Bonita.
Are owl fans. Like owls. A lot of it. I like it. Well, I think you're going to love our next little guy. He gets bug a lot. Now, how many of you think this is a baby? How many think he's full grown? No idea? Well, raise your hand anyway. You can be proud about it, it's fine. Well, I would like to introduce to you guys Gandalf the Grey. He is an eastern screech owl. Who's looking at something back there? And this is as big as Gandalf will get. So he is fully grown. But the screech owl has actually been misnamed, since they don't really screech at all. Instead, they make more of a wavering whistle that goes like this. like Gandalf's head, they actually have nothing to do with hearing like a lot of people think. Instead, they have to do with camouflage and attracting a mate. But if Gandalf here was up a tree somewhere and a larger predator came along, he would actually stick up those feather tufts as high as possible, would then close his eyes, make his body super skinny. That way, he looks nothing more than a knot on a log. Now the screech owl, they come in about 3 different color faces. You have the reddish-brown face like the one up on the screen. You have the grayish-brown face like Gandalf the Grey. But they also come in a more brown color face, which is kind of a mixture between the two. Now, unfortunately for these guys, the biggest threat to them is us. And more importantly, it's our cars. So if you're driving around at night with your headlights on, like you should, it's a legal thing, one of these guys might be sitting on that side of the road. They would then get scared by your headlights, would fly off, and unfortunately, get hit. But if this happens to you and you want to help, definitely do so. Just don't use your bare hands. They'll bite you, it'll cause more stress, and you'll both have to go to the vet. Instead, you want to grab a towel, blanket, jacket, even a shirt or something. Anything that you can wrap them up in and then take them to the vet that way so they can get their proper care. That's actually how we get a lot of our screech owls in. They all come in either hurt, abandoned, or anything. Like Gandalf here, who was actually found on the side of the road with a broken wing. So we don't really know how old he is since he came in fully grown already. But typically out in the wild, a little screech owl like this can live to be about 10 years of age. Here in captivity, well, he will get to spend the rest of his wonderful life. He can actually live to be about 20 years of age. That's because he has some pretty good food, he thinks so, some excellent health care, and he has a little stress. And where he is nocturnal, he makes a great pest control expert. They love bugs. And you can actually attract one of these little guys to your own house. All you have to do is build a nest box, just like the one we have on the side of the stage right over here. You have plans that you can pick up at the end of the show. That way, you can try and attract one of these guys to your own neck of the woods. Now Gandalf here, he is going to be the smallest bird you see in our show today. And he weighs in at a very impressive 5.5 ounces. He is huge. All fluffy. But for being a nocturnal bird, I think he did a wonderful job staying awake for you guys and showing us stuff.
I'd like for you all to meet Penny. Now I have a question for everyone. How many of you think that this is a bald eagle? How many of you think this is a golden eagle? How many of you are just not sure and you're just saying it's an eagle? Yeah. All right, well this is actually a bald eagle, so you all were right. So she is actually a juvenile bald eagle. So Penny here is from Pennsylvania, because we're really original with naming around here. Penny was actually caught in a trap when she was only about 3 months old. We're assuming she went down after something like carrion, and she had to have several toes amputated, so she would not be able to survive in the wild on her own. Now Penny represents a lot of what we do here at the American Eagle Foundation. So we first of all want to help in conservation efforts. So when we see an animal out in the wild, we want to be able to help make sure that they have a strong population back out into the wild. We also focus on rehabilitation. With Penny's lack of toes, she had to go through a year-long rehabilitation process where she had to learn how to stand on her own, to rehabilitate, to get that balance to be able to do what she's doing today. So she has come a long way in the 1 year that she's been with us. And finally, education. Without education, we wouldn't have a lot of the birds that we do today. Birds up close and personal. So Penny does represent all of those things for us here. And this is actually Penny's only second day at Dollywood and very first day at shows. So we think she's doing a fantastic job, and we hope to have her around for many more years.
in the fact that the golden eagle has golden feathers found on the back of its head and neck. They're also one of the most common eagles found in just about every country in the northern hemisphere. Here in the United States, though, they're more of a bird of the West, found in arid valleys to lonely mountains, from sea level up to 12,000 feet. They also can defend a territory that ranges anywhere from 8 to 12 square miles. Now, these birds are truly at the masters of their environment. They actually seem to delight in soaring through gale force winds and have been known to climb thermal updrafts up to 4 miles high. From those drafts, have the capability of diving in after their prey, reaching speeds around 200 miles per hour. And with that speed, they can kill larger prey, like cranes, or even livestock. But they typically like to go after squirrels, rabbits, foxes, coyotes if they're vicious, and other smaller birds. They're also very cunning, intelligent, and bold. They will dive in from the sun to blind their prey, and will use stealth-like tactics to cut off its means of escape. Now, this hasn't gone unnoticed by the Native Americans of the Great Plains. Golden eagle feathers have actually been given to warriors for bravery. And those long flowing headdresses of a chief represents a lifetime of valor. In Judeo-Christian beliefs, eagles have also been symbolically represented many times in the New and Old World Testaments, as in Isaiah 40:31. They shall mount up on wings of eagles. Eagles have also been represented many times in the New and Old, in religion and culture around the world. Like with our next eagle that once represented the mighty nation, the Iroquois. But today, it represents a much younger country. You're right there, bud? There we go. And Caitlin will be right out with that eagle in just a moment. But for now, we have Tecumseh, our golden eagle.
Courage, strength, spirit, and independence. The bald eagle.
Thank you all on his behalf. I'd like for you all to meet Abraham. Abraham is a 4-year-old male bald eagle who unfortunately fell out of his nest at only about 6 weeks of age, right here in Sevier County, severely damaging his left wing, so he is unable to fly. Now, some of you might be wondering how the bald eagle gets its name, because he's obviously not bald. Well, bald in this sense refers to an Old English word that simply means white-headed. They get that white head and tail at about 4 to 5 years of age. So prior to this, they look a lot like Penny, all that brownish color on the rest of their body, indicating their immaturity. And it's been our nation's symbol since 1782. A resident of North America, they live by large rivers, lakes, and oceans, where they can hunt for their favorite food, which is fish. Now, they will also eat waterfowl, various mammals, reptiles, and sometimes even carrion, especially their first few years of life. And the bald eagle's breeding life usually begins at about 4 to 5 years of age, and at this point their lifelong mate is selected, and they will only remate if their faithful companion should die. The pair will soon choose a nest site, usually a large tree near water, and they'll use that same nest year after year, adding new materials until sometimes those nests can weigh a ton or more. 1 to 3 eggs are usually laid, and incubation is done by both parents. The young will hatch in about 30 to 40 days, and they will grow very quickly, reaching their full adult size and making their first flights in just 12 weeks. Now, we here at the American Eagle Foundation are helping contribute to the wild population. And as of this year, we're very proud to announce that we've now released 159 bald eagles into the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Thank you. So, their comeback is in full swing, rebounding from a low of only 417 pairs in the early 1970s. Now, in the 20th century, the bald eagle's population declined drastically, and this was due to DDT, lead poisoning, electrocution, and illegal shootings. But 2017 marks the 10th anniversary of the bald eagle being removed from the federal endangered species list, although they are still protected. Thank you. So even though it seems they've turned that critical corner, their comeback is not yet complete. We must all strive in the effort to secure a future for this majestic bird. Dollywood and the American Eagle Foundation are proud to share with you our nation's living symbol. It's up to us all to preserve what we have left and to repair what we have damaged. We did not inherit this earth from our parents. We're simply borrowing it from the next generation. Well, thank you all for being such a great audience today. We do have one more bird coming out all the way from Africa. I'm going to let Lindsay tell you all about our final bird.
It's for the Eagles, where we are a nonprofit. So, if you would like to give taco donation, please feel free to do so. Just don't give them coins, we'll try and eat them. But if you have any kind of bill, you can take that bill, fold it in half, hand it to Tuck when he's over here. And then he will take that bill and tuck it right into his box when he wants to. And for our new Vulture fans, I know we have some. We do have Buzz and Cujo say keep calm and carry on. Reusable bags for a $5 donation. And for a $10 donation, you can take Tuck home with you on a t-shirt with Tuck Took My Money t-shirts. They are sizes a dog small to extra large. Unfortunately, we don't have kid sizes, but we do have a gift shop right over to the left-hand side of the stage, my left. But other than that, you guys can come on up, ask questions, take photos, see if Tuck will take your dollar, and you guys have been a great crowd. Thank you guys. You can come on up now, ask questions, see if Tuck will take your dollar, take photos, and thanks again for coming.
Usually if they're nest ball, they don't lay enough egg that season. Yeah. That's impressive.
The next day.